There's like way less pressure than having us rolling it on our phone.
Yeah, it's way better.
All right, well, let's just start.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
Okay. What's up, everybody? My name is Cole Billings. This is Sam DeLay. We are the founders of Varsity Real Estate, a brand new real estate brokerage here in beautiful Bend, Oregon.
Wait, what is Varsity Real Estate? First of all, answer that question.
What is Varsity Real Estate? What a good question. Varsity Real Estate is a brand new boutique real estate brokerage. Sam and I formerly were the owners of a real estate team called DeLay and Billings Team Real Estate. We may have worked with a lot of you before. And we housed our team or ran our team through Cascade Hassan Sotheby's International Realty. And Cascade Hassan Sotheby's International Realty was the brokerage that our team operated under. Now, Varsity Real Estate is a new company, and we've become that umbrella company. We've become the brokerage to the agents that are on our team. Can you help expand on that a little bit, Sam?
Yeah, a lot of people ask, like, what is a brokerage? It's a housing place basically for real estate agents who are licensed to do their work. You can't just go willy-nilly run your own business without this covering of a brokerage. And brokerages all vary from size. They vary from services they might provide, the type of agent that might want to be there. So there's all kind of different flavors and flares.
Sam, what are some of the brokerages that people might know of out there?
Yeah, you see the big national or international chains are the most recognizable would be like your Remaxes, or your Windermere's, your Sotheby's. Like those are things that you might see in any part of the world. And there's clearly some benefits to that, and there's also some downsides to that. And then you have more local boutique shops, or even regional. And that's more what our style is, and part of the reason why we made this decision to launch our own smaller boutique brokerage.
Very cool.
But the brokerage, what we're trying to do is provide a place where our businesses, our sales businesses, those of our agents can really thrive, and underneath the services that we provide, and a place where they identify with the culture and the leadership that we're putting out and the services that we provide as owners of the company and of the brokerage. So that's kind of a little bit of background of what is a brokerage and what we're trying to do.
Got it. So a brokerage is not a place where we're brokering, so to speak, other transactions in real estate sales that aren't directly affected to our own personal sales or other members of our brokerage's sales. I think there's some misconception if you maybe live in California, a real estate broker is actually referred to as a real estate agent. Mm-hmm. But in the state of Oregon, we're referred to as real estate brokers. Mm-hmm. A real estate agent and a real estate broker are the same thing.
Yeah, essentially the same thing. Yeah, and we're able as a brokerage and brokers within the brokerage to do business with anybody within our brokerage, but also in other brokerages outside of us. So the brokerage itself, even though we're smaller, our relationships are still very, very broad across the spectrum of brokerages within Central Oregon. And those are all other agents and companies that we can still partner with and do business with. And that's definitely our intention.
Absolutely. So it sounds like business as usual as the way that our team has operated, but now there's a new level of independence that we're able to go out. We've kind of left the nest, so to speak, mm-hmm. and really stepped into our own space to go be truly independent and help sort of create more culture around the company that we want to run, as well as the services that we provide for the agents that end up selling under Varsity Real Estate.
Yeah. So what would you say, what were the biggest motivating factors for us to do this? Because things were going pretty good. I mean, we had a really rocking team. If you just look at the numbers, one of the best performing teams in Central Oregon and in Oregon for that matter. Why would you go change something that's so good?
Why rock the boat?
Why rock the boat? Yeah.
It's a great question. It's a great question. I think personally I can answer for myself and hopefully for you as well, but I think that there's a certain level of drive and pride that comes from creating something from scratch that's truly your own. Sam and I are both longtime community members of Central Oregon. We see our families here long term. We're heavily invested in the real estate industry. We love the work that we do, and that's not going to change. And so I think for me, I felt like we're going to be here doing this a really, really long term. We've proven the model, so to speak, with our team. We've been really running our team like an independent brand, sort of independently of the brokerages that we've been a part of historically. We've really taken ownership in creating a lot of our own systems. We've taken ownership in creating our own brand and really sort of driving that. And I think that this is just a new evolution of what we've already been trying to do. Luckily, the model's worked. And so, for us, it's let's take a risk. Let's take a bet on ourselves to go out and do something that we're really proud of. And also that maybe doesn't exist in the market.
What is that? Like, what do you see as the differentiating factor there that doesn't exist that you can point to and say that's why we've been successful?
I think it's the creation of a specific type of culture within the company. When we set out to start DeLay & Billings Team Real Estate, what we did not want to be is just a collective of agents under one umbrella, but all working on our own individual business and not really collectively supporting one another. We really prioritize the team in DeLay & Billings Team Real Estate. That's why it was in the name. That's partially why we chose Varsity Real Estate. It, beckons you. It makes you think of a team environment, and we've always been really big on team players. And at the end of the day, I think we've created something that all of us are bought into. We're bought into everybody's collective success. We obviously all have our own individual relationships and our own clientele, but I think that we are all much stronger collectively in our businesses than we could be if we were on our own. And I think that's a huge part of what we're looking to build at Varsity. And I think that's part of what we're going to be able to offer to other agents that might not be with our company right now, but down the road, is just somewhere where people belong. They've got a really high level of trust. We're owners of this company. We own 100% of the business. We can be nimble. We can be flexible. We can do things that we just simply couldn't do before at a national brokerage. And I think that really excites us. It obviously places an extra level of responsibility and pressure on us, but I think that we've proven to, that's where we thrive.
We thrive under pressure.
We thrive under pressure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like a Ford pickup. You ever heard that analogy?
That they thrive under pressure?
That they drive a lot straighter when they're loaded down.
Oh.
It's true. It's a true story. I own a Ford.
I like that. What was I watching? I was watching A League of Their Own last weekend with my kids, and there's a line in the movie that this one player on the team is like, this is just too hard. I can't continue on. I'm moving back to the farm, and I'm quitting the team. And the coach said, if it wasn't hard, everybody would do it. Mm-hmm. That's what makes it great. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's kind of built into our DNA, and we like a challenge. And, if we're going to be doing it, we might as well go all in.
Yeah.
So, Sam, tell me about this fox. Why is there a fox in our logo? It seems bizarre.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a question mark, isn't it? So shout out to Jay Jones.
Mr. Jones.
Mr. Jones, who has helped us, with our brand and visual identity. Just a great guy, and love working with him. But he kind of came up with this idea of just something that's inquisitive, it's whimsical, it begs a question, and that alone is really kind of the purpose of the fox. And there's obviously some ties to it being a Central Oregon animal here in the mountains and all that stuff. But it's nothing more than just a fun, playful, icon or mascot, if you will, to what our business is.
Who doesn't love a good mascot?
Would you say that that's all true?
I think that's true.
Yeah.
I absolutely think so. I think we knew that we wanted a strong visual icon that was immediately recognizable, that was distinguishable within the real estate space. To be frank, a lot of real estate branding and marketing feels pretty stale at this point or regurgitated. I think we wanted to just do something that was a little out there and a little bit different, but still felt, relatable, classy, timeless, color palette that matched those things. But, who doesn't love a good mascot? Killer opportunities with just, merch and, taglines and all the things that come with a mascot and an icon. So
similar question, and you've kind of maybe already touched on this a little bit, but how did we land on the name Varsity? And who came up with that idea?
Who did come up with that idea?
You did.
I came up with it.
I was trying to give you credit.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. I honestly couldn't remember. The naming process was a beast, I'll tell you that. We went back and forth on so many names. We spent a lot of time doing that. And I think that, Sam and I both have been athletes our whole lives. We've got kids that are in sports. So we both, thrive in team settings. We value that. We value the sense of accomplishment that I think sometimes can only come from the camaraderie and the, deliberate focus on a specific goal in the collective of a group. And all of that really encompasses sort of this, best in class mentality of what Varsity Real Estate's about. We obviously liked the playfulness of the name. It's obviously something that's a little bit different than what you might find out there. And it's also not tied to our name. I think we wanted to build something that wasn't tied to delay in billings. We want to create a brand that other agents can come in under, that can thrive under, they can build their own name under, and that they find value in. So I think we're going to do some really fun stuff with the brand. Luckily, the reception to the name's been great so far, so we're just going to keep playing with it and have fun.
So let's talk about our group a little bit, because one of the things we're really proud of is when we decided to make this jump, we sat everybody down individually and said, hey, here's what we're doing. And every person looked us in the eye almost immediately and says, let's go. Right? Everybody was excited about it, that was humbling, but we're also really proud of it. It was a really cool moment. I think just confirming what we're doing and that people have placed a lot of trust in us. But let's talk about our group. The people that came with us, we have, besides us that are selling, we have 3 other agents that are selling. Sharon Nyberg, who, if you don't know, we're actually sitting right now on one of Sharon's upcoming listings, actually hitting the market today as we're shooting this. It'll be Varsity Real Estate's most expensive listing to date and luxurious. It's in Tetherow. It's $3.7 million. It's gorgeous, as you can see. So Sharon has an extensive background in sales, in marketing. She's a horse girl. She loves to jump her horses. She's very classy, professional, and really good with just people, knows people. She has great intuition. And Sharon and I started working together back formally before you and I had even partnered up. We were part of Team Delay, which I started with my mom, Edie, back in the day. But Sharon's just super loyal, great person. Her clients love her and respect her. She's also got one of the most premier, new development communities on the west side of Bend called Skyline Ranch. And she's been working on that for the better part of 2 years now and crushing it out there. It's land sales, 2 to 3 acre lots. And so anyways, all I have to say, Sharon is just an extremely well-rounded person, loyal, trustworthy, just like an amazing team player. So we're stoked that Sharon's selling real estate with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Want to talk about Molly Hogan a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So Molly and I go way back. Fortunately, Molly and I had the opportunity to work together on a previous team. We were together for about 4 years on that team. Molly, born and raised in Central Oregon. She grew up here. She's got her hands in the fabric of the city across so many different mediums and different communities, which is really cool. Really neat background. And she has just thrived as a real estate broker for almost 20 years now, I believe. So incredibly well connected. She's a one of a kind. If you've met her, if you know her, she is a ball of fun, full of love.
You don't forget her.
You don't forget her. She really knows how to make people feel valued. She really knows how to read people well. And she's an absolute just stand-up professional across the board. And so we actually had the opportunity to welcome her to DeLay and Billings Team Real Estate about 2 years ago now. Her business has thrived. She's found her way within our team setting, and just really grateful for, the perspective that she brings to the group. I think, one thing that is you get to know the team better, and the one thing that I think's really been sort of a staple of our success thus far is the diversity of, of personalities, skill sets, maybe pockets of the market that we all are really different, but also value everybody's differences and are able to sort of create some magic there that might not be if we were all just sort of carbon copies of each other. And so, yeah, she's an absolute unicorn. She's the best and super grateful. She just, let's go. She's all about it. No. And super positive change for her as well. So next up, someone that's just grown so much within their business is an absolute just sales crusher out there, Kevin Lau. His family, long-standing real estate family out of the Portland area, moved down here 5 years ago.
Oh, it's been longer than that, maybe six.
5 or 6 years ago now.
Just became a dad. He and Jess just had Sonny.
Yeah.
It's been 3 months maybe.
Yeah.
So they're settling into parenthood, and hasn't really slowed Kevin down much. No. I mean, I remember first days being a dad, it's like you sleep and that's about it. Change diapers and sleep.
Right.
So yeah, he's out there still crushing it, and yeah, great dude, ball of fun. Guy loves to get after and live life big. He's always snowboarding, mountain biking. He's got his little brother. Yep. He's part of Big Brothers Big Sisters, who he's always investing in. So always giving back to his community. But the guy loves the hustle. I mean, he works harder than anybody else when it comes to representing buyers, especially, but sellers as well, and just getting out there and making sure they're well represented, finding the best deal.
Competitive as all get out.
Yeah, doesn't quit until he gets the job done, which is super fun to watch and inspiring.
Yeah, it's been really fun to have him on the team, see him mature, grow. We've all grown together. We've all learned together. Just really cool to see that transformation over the years, and I'm sure he'd be the first one to say that. So,
yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, so we have just a stud group of people that just, highly respected, clearly in our group, but outside of our group in the industry as a whole. There's not a person on that crew that is not well respected, I would say. I'm a little bit biased, but that's my opinion.
Well, that's got to be a staple of what we're doing, right? I mean, there's no one formula, the type of agent that we're looking to sort of, help build their business and foster their business and support them. But, there is this sort of connected tissue of trust within the real estate community that has to be there for it to work for all of us. And I think the agents on the team, us, our support staff have worked really, really hard to hopefully have the trust of the rest of the real estate community out there, because it's a team sport, regardless of if you're on our team or not. We're all working together for a long time. So I think we're proud of what we built there, and couldn't have done it without all the agents on our team and the support.
Do we want to grow? Do we want to add agents?
We do want to grow.
Has anybody asked us that yet?
Has anyone asked us if we want to grow?
Yes.
Yes, all the time. I think we absolutely want to grow. To me, the growth of this business needs to be organic. I think we've always said since the beginning that we'll look at any opportunity, but we're not seeking out opportunity. And I think we've been fortunate to have good opportunities flow to us. Maybe the law of attraction, I don't know what it is, but we do want to grow. We want to grow organically. It's got to be the right fit. There's always cracks and crevices within the group that we need filling to enhance the strength of what we're trying to do collectively. And, personally, I guess I'm a leader now, as a leader, one of them is I like supporting people And I think that if we can continue to offer the same quality of care and support for the agents on our team, and we're able to scale that, then I think that we're only going to continue to enhance the culture of our company. We're going to enhance the trust within the community. If we can grow, the pie, our piece of the pie within the sales community, then I'm excited about that. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts there?
Yes, the plan is to grow. Like you said, let's do it smart. Let's not just grow to grow. Let's just not add people so that we can have more seats to fill. That's not our intention, and that's not a goal. But when the right opportunity comes along, and when we can commit to person and really support them in the way that we know how, then yeah, we know that the time will be there. And that's probably not too far in the future, we would guess, but we're also not trying to get out over our skis here too much.
What would you say? I mean, there's so many real estate brokerages, honestly, in Central Oregon already, right? As far as the real estate agents go, and those who, as far as the real estate agents go, there's so many options available to them. There's so many different national brokerages. There's a fair amount of like regional brokerages, and there's some other smaller homegrown brokerages here in Central Oregon already, other than Varsity Real Estate. What do we have to offer to other real estate agents in Central Oregon that they maybe won't be able to find at another real estate brokerage?
Yeah. So, that what our agents have really been drawn to is the level of support that we offer them within their business on the day-to-day. And so if you go to any other brokerage, I'm pretty sure this doesn't exist out there right now, where you can come and you can have a fully licensed transaction coordinator, at your beck and call, basically, to help you with, all your timelines, all your signatures, all your contracts, all that type of stuff, keeping it aligned. As we all know, there's a million different details in every single real estate deal, and it's hard to keep them all straight, especially when you're answering the phone all day trying to help your clients, right, and be present for them. So, our transaction coordinator, Mara, who's incredible, 30 years as a lender in processing, so she's got an attention to detail, right?
She's seen so many contracts.
She's seen so many contracts in her lifetime and in her career. So to have somebody like that who is, full-time, paid staff by the company, you don't pay extra for that person, or pay extra for that service each and every time. It's just something that we offer the agents that come to our company.
And is that person actually communicating and interacting with our clients and with other agents?
Oh, very much so, yeah. When we first sit down with our clients, either or a seller or a buyer, we explain to them the team and the team model. And so we introduce them to Mara, right up front, and say, this is a huge asset to your transaction and your success as a buyer or seller. And so they get a lot of interaction with Mara as Mara is helping them, saying, hey, you need to take your earnest money and deposit it here. Or, hey, did you realize that this timeline is coming up? It's about to expire. Here's your utilities, whatever it is, right? She's that person, quarterbacking all of that. And so she knows each and every transaction intimately and is able to assist you as the agent, but also assist your clients. And that's just invaluable in our opinion. So that's one facet of our team. Another facet would be support staff of Jenny O'Loughlin, our director of operations, just a person that's there to try to make your business run smoother and the business as a whole run smoother. And she's also has crazy attention to detail. She's ran transactions before Mara was around and is extremely capable there as well.
She's a licensed principal broker.
I was just going to say, licensed principal broker. Gosh, I don't even know how many years she's been licensed, but tons of experience in lending, in operations, in real estate. Like, she's just very well equipped to assist you as an agent through whatever's coming up in your business, technology wise, processes wise, applications, contracts, you name it. She's kind of the go-to person for all that. So she really supports our business.
She's really hands-on the listing side as well, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a huge part of her job, is just assisting, making sure that the listings are packaged up nicely, ready to go, that they look nice and everything's succinct in the MLS, all those types of things. So yeah, she's very active in our listing process as well.
Nice. Well, and then lastly, A new component that we're offering that has been just a huge asset to Varsity is we just brought on a full-time marketing manager, Trevor Qualman. I mean, I don't know how we did this business without him before, to be frank. The amount of attention that's being poured into, marketing and building this new brand within the community is really where we're pouring a ton of time and energy up front now. But for the agents on the team to have a full-time director of marketing in-house who's in the office, 5 days a week, to be able to utilize to help build their own personal brand within Varsity Real Estate, to be able to support their listings, to be able to help them with social media, scripting, and really across the board, across like our full tech stack that we offer. He is really sort of the conduit for all of that, which is something that I think, especially for a small boutique brokerage, we've really invested in, and I think is an asset that you can't find at a lot of other brokerages where you might be competing against a lot of other agents for that one marketing director's time and energy. So I think that's really exciting and something we're excited. I mean, we've never really spent money on marketing.
Yeah, never.
We are fortunate to have like a really grassroots business that's really referral based.
Where does our business come from? Like, where has it come from in the past?
Yeah, I mean, historically, in 2023, I think 80% of our business was referral based.
Yeah, it was like 90.
90.
Well, I would say 90% was relationship based.
Yeah, so
Maybe
within our sphere.
Within our sphere, yep.
Or referral based.
Correct. Yeah, like 0 paid leads. We're not doing any Zillow ads and all that kind of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's people that do really well off of that, but that just has never been our style. So we want to work with people who have been connected to us by a trusted individual, and there's a level and a foundation already built there that we can continue to build off of.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I think another component of it is, we're fortunate to have high producing agents on our team who are really focused on buyers and sellers that are motivated and ready to go. And our business is not built around sort of trying to chase down business in the hopes that it becomes business someday. Mm-hmm. And, we're just fortunate to have been in the industry a long time and have businesses that have been built that way and just have been continually fueled by solid relationships. So I anticipate that's going to continue to stay the same. We're obviously going to start trying to build recognition within the community around Varsity Real Estate because it's a new entity. That's why we're doing this really cool podcast style thing that we're doing. But I'm excited about building a brand, and that's something that, to be frank, is a big personal goal, and there's a lot of fuel behind that for me.
Yeah. I think it'd be a missed opportunity if we didn't talk about Side and what is Side. I mean, those watching this probably have not heard of what Side is. In fact, I think the only thing we've mentioned about Side was we mentioned something on our Instagram today because they posted some big Inman News article. But what the heck is Side, and what are we doing with Side?
Yeah, so we've actually partnered with a company. It's called Side, and Side is a white label brokerage. So essentially they assist privately owned real estate brokerages. There's about 600 that they support throughout the United States. They help support those businesses get off the ground. We have a full-time business manager that Sam and I work with on a weekly basis. We had a launch manager to help us build Varsity, build the brand, get it off the ground. We have all of our tech support is backed by Side, so they have contracts with all of our different tech vendors to help provide a really bolsterous, strong tech stack for our agents that we probably wouldn't be able to have access to without their support. They run all of our compliance, all of our E&O. They run all of our risk management. We have a full-time local
managing broker.
Full-time local managing principal broker out of Sisters. And so they offer so much support to us as owners, and that ends up obviously trickling down to so much to support to the agents. it's an added layer of support that we couldn't offer without them. And it's also a really, really cool web and community of like-minded people who are all starting, like they're all taking a bet on themselves. They're all leaving either large, brokerages or other small boutique brokerages to bet on themselves, to go build something within their local community. And that's really hard to find in a city like Bend. And so we've gone outside the city of Bend to be able to try to find some of those connections to help us grow as leaders, to help kind of just grease the wheels on thinking outside the box. Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to be learning a ton through that partnership.
Yeah, agreed.
Tell me about what you're most excited about with the launch of this business.
I'm excited to see what it becomes. I mean, I think the future's really bright. You always kind of dream big dreams and have these visions of what something could be like. And I'm just excited for that journey and that process. I'm excited to see what people are brought into the fold and just how our group continues to expand, and those that we get to rub shoulders with on a daily basis, and the different types of clientele that we get to help through this process. So yeah, I'm excited for the future. I mean, it's like you kind of think you know where you're going, you've got a plan, but as we've seen already in a few short years of just being partnered together, it's like, all right, stuff changes and you adapt, and this is certainly going to bring on its new set of challenges. I think it's going to grow us as a partnership and individuals and us as a team. So I'm just excited for the process, excited for the journey.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, kind of similar. It's wild to think about like what could be. And I think just being excited about the unknown is sort of that like thrill seeker on the edge of your seat, kind of built up, like, where are we going? What are we doing? But unless you put one foot in front of the other and just start going, you're never going to get there. So I think it's just, I find so much richness on a day-to-day basis just in the strong relationships that we've built, not only internally as a team, but with all the other agents in Central Oregon that we get to work with, and with our clients who have supported our business for all these years. And just to have been fortunate to be in this for over a decade and help walk families through like their first child, to new businesses being built, to successes, to failures, to walk them through divorces, walk them through financial turmoil, back to new successes. Like there's such a wild cycle that we get to come alongside people and walk them through, and it's a really challenging job in that way. There's a lot of emotional highs and emotional lows, but it also feels really rewarding to be able to wake up every day and have worked towards something that I think does truly provide value to people's lives. Mm-hmm. And if it doesn't, then we're wasting our time.
Yeah.
People spend a lot of money, and they have a lot of options out in the market, and our goal is to be the very best option that money can buy. Mm-hmm. And I think we're working towards that and doing it. What are your favorite set of skis that you own right now?
Oh, okay.
The 56 Niners with the G4 on the
56
back?
Niners.
No?
I just bought, and I haven't even used them yet. But
From the ski shop right next door?
No, I actually went there. I tried to support local below, but I went to local across town, which is also a great shop that I've always skied at. But I got some Atomic bent Chettlers. They're the 110s underfoot. And I went big this year because I've always skied a shorter ski, but these I went for 188. So they're just these massive boats, and they've got beautiful
Monsters.
graphics on them, and they're going to ride great. So I'm going to take them out maybe Friday. We'll see.
I know.
Pretty pumped on that.
Okay.
You're getting back into snowboarding.
Yep, I'm back in
This
it.
is the year.
Grew up near Tahoe, rode my whole life, took some years off, decided I was too old, so I should start skiing. Why start skiing at 37? So now I'm back to snowboarding at 40, and my son's all fired up about it. So I was like, you know what? Let's go all in. Got a new setup. So yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. I've been dragging the past few years, and golf season's over, and I gotta figure out something to do this winter.
Oh, did you hear that there is an X Golf coming to Bend? I saw it this morning on the news.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, right over in the old mill, kind of by the new jack straw that's going in.
Really?
I don't know if they're building a new building. I think they might be renovating.
Top Golf?
No, X Golf.
X Golf. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's all indoor, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indoor simulator, X Golf, I'll be there. You can just get me a membership now. No, yeah, it's good. If you live in Bend, you got to channel your energy towards something in the winter to get outside, keep the energy flowing.
Or you just got to go to like Tucson or Palm Springs,
right,
or something. But
exactly.
I prefer the snow. This is a great time of year.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm like pumping down like all the activities, like extracurriculars that the kids are doing. I'm like, do you really want to wrestle? Do you really want to play basketball? I think you just want to ski.
Yeah.
As much as possible.
Fair enough. What's your family's response been to the new responsibility, the time and energy you've been pouring in?
Yeah.
Obviously, we need a lot of support from our spouses and kids if we're going to do this, or we're just going to become deadbeats, and we don't want that.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. The family's been insanely supportive. I come from, going back to my folks. My dad was a builder. My mom was a real estate agent, both entrepreneurs in their own right. And so immediately had their support, out of the gate, and that meant a lot. And then my wife just, she was just the biggest fan and biggest advocate for me to do this, encouraging me that I do have the skill set and can make it happen. And then understanding the extra hours put in, the energy, this heightened stress at times and all that kind of stuff that went into it. And the kids are just like stoked on it. They just think it's the coolest thing ever. They want like new hats and stickers, and they think the Fox is the coolest thing ever. And so it's fun just to see it through their eyes. And it's, I was even talking to June the other night, and she was like, "Yeah, I really wanted to tell my friend about your new business, but I was like nervous to do it or something like that." And I'm like, "Well, your friend probably really doesn't care, but it's really cool that she was like so excited about it that she wanted to, she was already a fan of it." So I don't know. It's been a great experience.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think there's something to be said for, whether we recognize it or not. I think it's really cool for your kids to watch you build something. I think that at least that's obviously been our path. That's not everybody's path, but because it's our path, we obviously find a lot of value in it. And I think for our kids to see, I just think there's so many good lessons. Hopefully, I'm betting on that.
Yeah.
Them just watching us just like get after it and just go. And like, there's gonna be 100 reasons why not to go do a business like this.
Yeah.
There's gonna be 100 people who it's not right for, and that's okay. And but there's got to be a few that it's right for, and I want to be a part of that few. And I think it's just cool to have your family support. I think we take it for granted. I can't speak for you. I do, and I think to Amy, my wife, like we've owned some other businesses before as well in the past. She has, I have, obviously it's sort of built into our DNA, but there's been this unwavering belief that what I put my energy towards, like it's gonna work. And there's been this level of trust that I think that I have taken for granted and I've just always expected that she's gonna be on board. And of course it's not blind, it's not blind, like they're putting that BS test to us, and they're making sure that this is a smart move collectively as a family. But, there's a level of belief that's sometimes higher than my own level of belief, which is incredibly supportive.
Yeah. Thankful for that, for sure.
Absolutely.
What's been the hardest thing or the biggest challenge in getting this thing off the ground?
I mean, I think I can say personally, I think personally for me, the hardest thing has been making sure that I'm present when I'm not locked into what we're doing with the business. And if you're a real estate agent out there, or you're in sales, or you don't work a traditional 9-to-5, then you probably know how challenging it can be for your work to bleed into all aspects of your life. And we knew that going into it. We've known that for a long time with sales. There's obviously lots of other freedoms and flexibilities that other people that work 9-to-5 jobs don't have. So we're familiar with that. But when you start a new business like this, it just requires so much attention, time, and energy. If you're going to do it right, you need to do it the right way. Or if you're going to do it at all, you need to do it the right way. And so for me, the biggest challenge is just being present, shutting this part of my world off so that I can really invest in my kids and my relationship with my wife and my friendship and my own health and well-being, and like all those things that are really, really valuable to me I still need to be devoting time and energy to them, and that is really hard.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I would say similar. I would say really being able to focus on just shutting it off, because the stakes are higher. There's more people counting on you, and so to really still be able to compartmentalize a little bit and say, hey, like, I got to leave that stuff at work or at the office and come home and really just give your best, not your crappiest, to your family. So there's definitely a heightened sense of that during the time of launch, when it really kind of came down to where the rubber met the road. And there's seasons for that. There's seasons where you're just going to burn at both ends for a while. And just making sure that you're, staying connected still, and not burning those most important relationships,
Yeah, I had to have a full-on heart-to-heart with my whole family last night. I was all frustrated that I didn't feel like I was being loved. And I was like, my wife told me, thank you. She's like, well, you're not that lovable lately. And I was like,
at least she's honest.
Burn. But, I thought about it, and I'm like, man, I'm here at home, but my mind is elsewhere.
Yeah.
And, it's really easy to go there, and I just had to apologize and say, look, I have not been the best version of myself, and I need to create some, boundaries around the way that this business is bleeding into and affecting some of the stuff at home. And, the beauty of kids is they're like, great speech, Dad. Yeah. And they like love you either way, Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's just that's the real part. That's the challenge with doing anything that's hard. And, but, hopefully it makes those bonds stronger with the adversity that comes, and not the opposite. I think that's true. So,
yeah. That is a cool thing about, our industry and our profession in some ways. I mean, there are seasons that can be a little bit slower, and you have a little bit more flexibility, not always, but you can go to your son's field trip, and watch how all the food is made.
On a Tuesday morning,
right.
And just,
you have those opportunities to, take your kids skiing maybe on a weekday or something like that, right? There's a little bit of flexibility in there. So that is the flip side, but those times aren't always there, but try to take advantage of them when you can. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about the market. What the heck is going on in Central Oregon real estate market right now?
It's a mess out there. No, I'm kidding. Well, post-election, historically, kind of budding right up to Thanksgiving, things really start to taper off. Just with, Thanksgiving, Christmas.
What kind of things taper off?
Number of transactions, number of new houses coming on the market, prices typically early, like November, December, January, are sliding down some, decreasing. This is partially because our market's cyclical. We've got a real winter. Not a lot of people like to move in the winter. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of people like to list their house when it's hailing or when there's a foot of snow outside possibly. So we just sort of see everything temper down. Mm-hmm. A little bit.
Well, I think there's some buyer and seller distraction you could throw in there, which is totally fair. It's like you want to focus on spending time with your family at Thanksgiving or traveling for Christmas or whatever it is. Like, typically people got such chaotic lives in this next 6 to 8 weeks that moving's not typically high up there on the process, right? So everybody's a little bit distracted, but there are people that need to move at all times of the year for different reasons: jobs, divorces, babies, you name it, right? All this kind of stuff. So there are still people transacting, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's buyers that still need to buy, there's sellers that still need to move for different reasons. On the buy side, unfortunately, everyone's been trying to make their best guess at rates forever. It feels like for the past couple of years, and a lot of people have been wrong a lot of times, and their predictions about when rates are going to come down haven't really come to fruition. We're still at around 6.5% for conventional financing on a 30-year mortgage.
Went down quite a bit this past week or so.
Where are we at now?
Oh no, we're at 6.5-ish.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, we were touching 7 there for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. For investor buyers, we're north of 7 right now with good credit, like at 7 maybe for a second home or investment purchase. So, and affordability is still a challenge.
Yeah.
So I would say though, typically as we're getting into this part of the year where sellers are distracted, they don't want to have their house on the market while they're hosting Thanksgiving dinner. They don't want to have to keep the house tidy over, Christmas break when kids might be home. Sellers' motivation levels really start ratcheting up here as we enter the next 60 days, I would say, historically. Yeah. So on the buy side, I think there's great opportunity. I know that we've been harping on this, but I think there's really good negotiating opportunity coming up.
Yeah, and then you look at also builders, they have typically year-end incentives in terms of credits or, hey, we'll throw in fridge and blinds or whatever.
Like $12,000 to $20,000 is what I'm seeing out there on average for a lot of the builders in Bend.
Yeah, they want to offload some inventory or at least get it pending heading into the new year. So yeah, a lot of buying opportunities out there.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and on the seller side, I mean, most of the conversations that we're having this time of year with sellers that are considering listing their house are really prep meetings about the spring.
Right.
Sure, we listed this house today. We're listing another couple houses next week, the week of Thanksgiving or a week before Thanksgiving. There's stuff happening. People need to list and transact for whatever reason. If you are in that position where you need to move your house in the next 30 to 90 days, then we need to get to work quickly. Mm-hmm. And I think the pricing strategy needs to be really conservative. Mm-hmm. In this time of year, especially with, right now in the city of Bend, I think there's 47% of the houses that are on the market today have taken a price reduction. Mm-hmm. In Redmond, I think it's higher, it's 53%. Mm-hmm. I did a market analysis this week on a house we'll be listing out there soon. So I think the pricing needs to be really, really conservative. It needs to be really enticing to get a buyer to make a move on it, especially with rates not having made too much of an impact or shift down.
Yeah.
What type of conversations are we prepping for the spring?
Oh gosh, I've already been meeting with several sellers. I could think of 4 in the past month that there's no intention to list this year, but they're doing the right thing and saying, hey, when is the exact best time to list next year? Because they got some flexibility within 2 to 3 months to list. What are the projects we need to do? What might the market look like, which is always tough to project, but.
What's our feeling about the market in the spring? I feel like it's pretty consistent across the board. Between the lenders that I talk to, real estate experts nationally.
Seems to be a consistent thread that it's going to be better because we're past the election. We kind of know what we're dealing with. Interest rates are expected to continue to come down, although I feel like that's been talked about for a while and it's been kind of a bumpy ride. They say that bumpy ride is probably going to continue, but overall projection is that they do come down, which is going to increase buyer sentiment. It's going to increase buyers' purchasing power, all those types of things. And it's going to have sellers that are maybe locked into these low rates that they got during the COVID era, 2%, 3%, 4%. It's going to lock some of that inventory, right? So there might be even more inventory coming on the market, which would be good for buyers. Get them back out there in the market and excited about what's going on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think pretty consistently we've seen after a long winter in years past, pent up buyer demand. I think they're quicker to jump in the spring. They're a little antsy. They haven't seen any good inventory on the market in a while. Maybe it's been 60 to 90 days since they've really seen anything that's been that interesting to them within their pocket of the market. And so I think it's a great opportunity for sellers to come to market early on in the spring with their very best foot forward and I think they'll find success.
So you have a seller that calls you today and they say, what is the date I should list next year? What do you tell them?
February 21st.
Pretty good.
Do
I'd say
not,
March 15th.
You say March 15th?
March 15th, but then you're starting flirting a little bit too close to spring break. So maybe a happy medium would be
March 1.
March 1.
Last year was Feb 1, but years past it's been later.
Yeah, last year was early for sure.
Yeah, it was early.
Or this year, 2024 was
You know, and that's something we're just going to be consistently watching for you, helping to keep you up to speed. You know, we're fortunate to be transacting often, so we feel like we've got a really good finger on the pulse of what's happening in the market and sort of like the buyer sentiment and the seller sentiment. So that's something we help guide people through. But you don't want to be a part of the blitz of new listings that are coming to market in late spring.
Yeah.
It's too late by then, in my opinion. And the data shows that. So that's what I like to plan for. If you need support with considering the projects of the winter that you might want to tackle in preparation to list, please consider us. Even if you just want to run design ideas by us, stuff that might perform well in the market versus other things, just there's so many simple changes that can be made to a property that we can help support you on. So please reach out on those. If you're going to spend the money, let's make sure we spend the money smart so that you can hopefully maximize that investment when we go to sell in the spring.
Okay, we're gonna wrap this up and just wanna end by saying thank you so much to all of our supporters out there, our clientele. Thank you so much that you've been so supportive of us over the years and continue to come back to us. And we're very, very thankful for that. We do not take that for granted. Thank you to our family, our friends, our staff, our agents. We love you all. We're very, very thankful, and we're stoked that we made Varsity. So thank you for your support.
That's that. Let's go.